that they're changing my voice, first of all, no one gives props to these people who are doing this. No one respects it. It's stupid. Everyone wants them to stop. The majority of the LGBT community wants them to stop. White community, Jewish, you name it. Okay, it's safe to say I can speak on their behalf because it's open and shut here. Now, it's in my story that a female named Mariah, when I was about 16 years old, broke my heart. She was about 16 or 17 years old. And on Valentine's Day, I was alone again. I've never had a good Valentine's Day in my entire life, and I'm 44 years old. I'll be 45 years old this year. We're getting closer to it. And I've never had a good Valentine's Day. A female named Mariah from Houston, which was one of the places I was going to move. I was going to move to Houston with a female I call my Houston Hondurina. Okay. And I have an interview with her. And I believe she says where she's from and everything on one of my playlists, on one of my other channels where I have all the witnesses. And they tried to run her off the road. They brided her. They did things to her because she was reporting some events that had occurred that had to do with gang stalking. So she started getting targeted, as the story goes, according to her, after she started talking to me. And I was going to move over there. She had 5 kids. I was going to move in with her, help her take care of her kids, make my videos there and live there. And Houston is a very dangerous city. My parents panicked. And ironically, we ended up moving in the Detroit area. Irony, right? And one thing that had happened was they tried to break into her house while she was there, and the glass cut the face of one of her kids. And in another incident, they tried to run her off the road. Now, again, they try to spook people. To some degree, they didn't intend to hurt her. And keep in mind, they're hurting people all the time. I don't know anyone who died during the coronavirus pandemic, epidemic, and like 1.2 or 1.4 million Americans or whatever it is died during the coronavirus. So you're not necessarily safer if you don't rally to me. The evidence suggests you're safer if you do rally to me. And the devil likes to punish those people who rebel against God first and foremost, and then make fun of them for being dumb enough to cheat Jesus, what have you. That's important to know. So don't let them, fake you out, psych you out, right? Psychology, psychops, and psyching you out. Pretty straightforward. And Psyche is a deity of psychology, right? And Ops is a deity who was Cronus, aka Saturn, aka Satan's consort in Greco-Roman mythology. So there was that Mariah event. Now, the females in the video clip of the video that's on the screen that reported on the incident, they look similar to females I've seen in various videos. One of them was like a Counterpoint or Dr. Gaff video where they talked about single guys versus single females. And there's other females along the way. There's other connections. Also, recently I had a dollar bill where there's like a blue heart. I was looking, I'm like, why did they put this blue heart on it? Because the picture on the screen has blue in it. And it has Mariah. And Mariah used to wear blue eyeshadow, whatever it's called, on the eyelids, that kind of blue stuff. And she was, white Hispanic. She was very attractive, certain height, certain shape, what have you, various features that were attractive. And she looks somewhat similar to some of the people in the news clip, but she doesn't really look that similar. But if you look at my playlist about the wordplay, and you look at the various things, the Falcon Trash Committee, there's a lot of things there that make it crystal clear that yes, the foundation of their psychological operations has to do with me. But Americans are too afraid to rally to me and face them. So instead of the land of the free and the home of the brave, I'm the only one really free and brave, and I'm being persecuted, and so on and so forth. Also, I forgot to mention that recently I brought up that this female in this video clip, this news clip about the What's Up market in Watts that was, brought back or whatever, had blue hair. And I'm like, why does she work at that market? She has blue hair. They're going to think she's a Crip or whatever. And Watts is a very dangerous city with Crips and Bloods, what have you. And the female in this video, and it's not that common to see this in these videos. She has red hair, and I seen a black female the other day in Southfield who had the red dyed hair. It's not that common to see it. I don't live in a bad area per se. I live very close to bad areas, very close. 10 minutes from a really bad area, okay, a few minutes down the street from a pretty bad area, but I don't live in a very bad area. And so and I don't go out that much. I don't go very far when I go out, what have you. So it was a little out of the ordinary. I noticed that as well. I didn't connect that to the Watts video, and now I connect it all because of this video, and that stuff sort of happens. I talked to the government workers at the time when that video came out because sometimes I'm fumed, I'm poisoned, and I kind of remix songs and sound goofy and so on and so forth. Okay, I'm not goofy, I'm not gay. They do things, they change my voice, so I might seem gay at a time when I'm by myself or in the shower or something. And so one of the things I would remix was this Watts song by Kill Kill called What's Up, right? It goes, What's up, what's up, what's up? And, they're messing with my voice, so I can't sing it well or say it well, rap it well. And it goes, right, right. And it says, a hootie hootie hi or something like that. And it says, my name is Kill Kill, I represent Sugar Hill, the real tip top until I die. A hootie hootie hi. I'm more deadly than a drive-by. So I might remix that up and make it kind of funny, what have you, to kind of blow some steam, kind of have some downtime because they're fume me and poison me. And if I stay serious and angry all the time, it messes up my brain. And so that factors in too, believe it or not. Now I know it's not the time to kind of be goofy or something. I'm going to try to kind of imitate how I sound in the shower. Whenever I try to do it on the phone, they step up the frequencies and the fumes and it makes it hard. So let me just go ahead and try to do this real fast. What's up, what's up, what's up, what's up, what, right? What's up, what's up, what's up, what's up, right, right? Now who got more squabble than the heavyweight champ? And who's the captain of this here camp? My name is Kill Kill, I represent Sugar Hill. I'm real tip top until I die. A hootie hootie hi. I'm more deadly than a drive-by. Okay, and it's kind of like this old school song, got like Jerry curls or something. Okay. Obviously I take this very seriously. It's connected to my heartbreak, it's connected to a lot of things. A lot of other murders. And part of the news clip included a Mace O's sign. And the mace goes back to the Narmer palette. Now the Narmer palette has all kinds of weird variations of it posted on the internet. And they did that to make fun of it, like they have the false image of Christ that's gay and white and so on, to make fun of the idea of the Royal African Falcon Martial Art Order. Because first they had the Bible, which confused it, right? The Torah and the Bible, the Quran, and then they have these mockers, okay? And so their tactics included a bunch of people who make fun of things in Greece and Rome and all over the world, and a bunch of people who kill people for not following their story, right? Confessionalism and Islamic fundamentalism all throughout history, Ottoman Empire, what have you. So the Mesos refers to the mace in the right hand of the first pharaoh of dynastic Egypt after the two lands are united. And he's known as Mene, Main Alpha, Main A, Mainso, Menso, Manso, Mene, right? That's what, that's how the wordplay goes. And Narmer, okay? And if you look at Osiris in many of his Egyptian depictions, not popular culture, cartoon depictions, and you look at, and you take his picture and put it side by side by the Narmer palette, you see there's that connection there. And Isis has been connected to the false depictions of the Virgin Mary, as has Selene, as has Anat and Astarte, and Hera. There's a lot of, like, every female deity you can think of is connected to the Virgin Mary. It's called an amalgamation. And a bunch of feminists from prostitute cults and things like that come together. Okay, in the later dynasties of Egypt, they're doing something like that. In Rome and Greece, in the Middle East, they come together, and that includes hermaphrodites, right? Where we get the word hermaphrodite. These tranny cults, gays who like to pretend to be women, right? Gays played females quite often in the old Greek plays, ancient Greek plays. And so that connects to this too, because they're basically a bunch of white supremacists, Jewish supremacists, and LGBT supremacists into the occult who operate with a certain impunity, much more than Epstein did. These are the guys who, for the most part, don't get thrown under the bus when Epstein did. They're all guilty, they all deserve to be flogged to death and go to hell and so on and so forth, but there's the main people doing this must be the people who operate with like the most impunity. And then there's factions of them in Hollywood and in the CIA who aren't that high up there, but they're related to the guys who are, I'd imagine, and so on and so forth. So that's why this has happened. It's a textbook CIA operation. CIA and their allies, right? The FBI is involved, foreign intelligence agencies, where all these secret societies overlap, right? Think about overlapping families, right? You know, English Americans, right? Jewish Americans, they have overlapping families, they're intermarried, they're all over the world, and they are the people who run the intelligence agencies of the world, and the corporations, the main and most influential ones who social engineer the planet. And that's why that happens.